Hello. Hello out there. Gimli, Ilmarin. Good to see you two showing up again. Very nice of you to drop by. Let me know if you can hear me. Had microphone problems last week or week before last, so I'm just want to make sure you can hear me. Not much, Mr. Ilmarin. I'm not freezing anymore. Good, you can hear me. Excellent. All right. Camera's moving. Yes. All right. Well, welcome everybody. Happy to have you here. Say hi if you like. This is a Talon Games Monday miniature stream where we hang out and tinker with our hobby projects. Definitely not a painting stream, even though that's mostly what I do here. Just a bunch of guys hanging out, having a good time, talking about hopefully people coming in and working on their stuff for CAV-Con. That's what I'm here to do. So, unfortunately, this past weekend was a birthday weekend at my house, so not a lot of painting happened, and I feel like I'm super far behind. I did manage to come in and do the cockpit glass on the things that have cockpits. Came out decent. I tried a different way of doing it this time. It's a little bit hard to see, but I think it came out all right. Not bad. Not everything I have has cockpits in this particular force. The poltergeists do not. So I didn't have to do every one of them. Thank you very much, Ilmarin. I'm certainly no Ross Hines, but I appreciate it. That's it's kind of cheating though. So I think the traditional way for people to do this is, with either acrylic layers or acrylic glazes to get up to that high point wherever you decide to put your cockpit canopy shine is. At least that's the way Ross has explained it to me. But I am a big fat cheater. So these are oil paints that I mixed up according to instructions I got from Mr. Wapple, who is hopefully going to do some exciting stuff in the near future. Anyway, and so these blend really easy. It still took me a little while to do it, but certainly I feel like I was more successful than I would have been if I tried to do this strictly with just acrylic paints. I mean, I have done some okay cockpits before, but definitely not the sort of stuff. Not the sort of stuff that my heroes of cockpit glass do. Anyway, so it worked out okay, and I went ahead and did it in black and white because the black and white doesn't look bad, and if I decide it needs to be a color, I can always just go in and kind of really gently glaze in a purple or a blue or an orange or whatever I want, and then it'll look like that's what I painted them. At least I think that's my theory. So I don't know. I haven't decided what's going to happen to them. I've really, really been struggling to try and puzzle out what to do with these guys to bring in some color. Forgot to get out my brushes. I hear that's a useful thing, especially when you're hobbying. So what am I going to do here? Probably work with this number 1 primarily, I think. Anyway, so, my original plan, and I think somebody here in the channel, probably Ilmarin, suggested it, was to come in and pick out some of these, move this up here where you can actually see it, some of these individual panels in, kind of a purpley color, which I think is a good idea considering how these guys are Malvernus. And originally that was my plan, and then I decided I would come in and I would do these little hexes in purple. And to be honest with you, I tried over the weekend a little bit of painting these hexes purple, and I just wasn't really happy with the way it came out. And so then I was asking amongst the guys, Todd and Hugh and Ross for some suggestions, and Todd had a great suggestion. He said when he can't figure out what to do for where to put a contrasting color, he says just put a big stripe on it. And so that was kind of my thought. I thought what I might do is I might come in here and just sort of do like a big splotch of color, like from here to here, just kind of repaint the center of the model, whatever color I decided to do. But then I thought to myself, you know, what that does is that makes me have to undo all this cockpit glass, because there's no way I can airbrush this. Oh, get it on camera. Sorry about that. There's no way I can airbrush this and preserve this cockpit glass work I did. It took me a night to do all this cockpit glass. So I'm like, oh man, that sets me back even more. So then I went to my local Michael's and I bought this masking fluid, which people use to cover up existing paint so they can paint over the top of it and then lift the masking fluid back off. And I intend to work with this at some point in time. But I've come full circle back around, and now I think I'm just going to go with the original idea, which again, I think maybe Ilmarin had, to just come in and pick out some panels. I'm getting to the point where I'm sort of getting that analysis paralysis sort of thing going on. And so I'm just gonna dive in and make something, just put some paint on it and let the chips fall where they may, and we'll see where it goes. Because in my insanity, you know, I'm still working on the CAV-Ball demo game that I'm going to hopefully do during virtual CAV-Con, and so I decided, beyond the models and the turrets that I've already got in the base game, I decided to dip into my terrain collection and to add some more things for the for the competitors to encounter, some obstacles that I'm going to put in the terrain. I'm sure we all have some of these. I'm going to get these cleaned up and painted, and as if insanity wasn't enough, I mean, this is supposed to be a sporting event, so now I want to put on some logos, right? Like maybe a Third Corp logo. For those of you who don't know, Third Corp is in the fluff. Yeah, one of you guys help me out, that's for sure. The Third Corp is a corporation that does a lot of, and these are my words, not John's, not Cab Boss's. They sort of run the Las Vegas planet. That's the way I think of it. And it may not actually be a planet. It might just be a territory. It might be mini planets. I don't know. Unfortunately, there's not enough fluff. But in my mind, they run the Las Vegas planet. So they put on all these sporting events. They put on the War Master tournament. They do CAV-Ball as sort of like an opening act for the War Master tournament. And so I thought, all right, I got to get some logos and some decorations in here. And then I thought, what if I could just print something, right? Just like take off the color printer and print some logos and some banners and make a little stand for decorations, because Lord knows I don't have enough to do. I'm sitting around here with all this free painting time. So I just keep adding things to my workload. So yeah, the Third Corp is a Templar corporation. Turns out most of the money corporations seem like they're Templar corporations. That's an interesting observation. Maybe there might be something in there. You never know. So anyway, as I said, it's probably time to just bite the bullet and start painting. So in order to get this purple, I didn't have one that I really like the looks of in acrylic, so I'm going to make one. I've got this scale 75, or scale color. I don't know if it's scale 75. I can't keep track of this stuff. I've got this Huldra blue and this old Reaper rosy pink. And I think if I put these two together in a clever way, I can get a nice pinky purple out of it. Pink because, like for my friend, the Pinky Princess, who I'm sure is not here, but she's here in spirit. Anyway, all right, so now to do that, what I need to do is I need to put down some white so that I can get a nice, strong, vibrant color. Because if I just paint this blue over the top of this yellow, it's going to make, I'm guessing, green, probably. Can't hear you. Are you talking to me, Tiger Wraith? Because microphone is right in front of my face. Maybe I keep looking the wrong direction. Huh. I mean, literally, I could probably kiss the microphone right now if I really wanted to. Do I sound all right? Gimli, do I sound good to you? Yeah, it's. I mean, I can't paint and keep my nose against the microphone. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. I'm a stuttery kind of person sometimes. Anyway, time to just bite the bullet and start doing some stuff. So I'm going to put some white paint on here, which is going to commit me to doing things. So, watch this. This is literal commitment. This is like proposing to your significant other. Let's hope it doesn't go horribly wrong. Pull this microphone down just a little bit. Maybe that'll help a little bit. Anyway, here we go. Commitment time. Let's cover up all that nice, pretty yellow that we did with this white, so that when we paint this holder blue over, we can get some actual blue. So, it's, like I said, this past weekend was super busy. My youngest daughter's birthday. Of course, she's an adult, but still, they act like they're kids. So we make a big deal out of birthdays still and have fun and play games together and, all kinds of silly stuff. It's fun. Got to meet her new boyfriend. It's, it's one of those things. Got to go to one of my favorite restaurants. Got to try a new cider I'd never had. Played some. Oh, almost forgot. Got to hang out with Colonel Kane, who's a regular irregular here. He's unfortunately his work schedule keeps him away sometimes. Yeah. I just gave up on all that video label stuff. Cab boss is in charge of that. He's a busy man. Busy. Is that on camera? Yeah, it's still on camera. All right. So yeah, I got to hang out with Colonel Kane. So we have one local shop that is kind of opened back up for some hobby activities. And Colonel Kane came down to visit with another friend of his, Ludo, who is also a CAV player. But he's kind of inactive right now, as kind of we all are. And they were down at the shop painting, so I decided to go down and visit, the socially distancing as best we could. We had masks, and the store's got every place where people paint is separated on 3 sides by plexiglass. They're a responsible place. Little place called Dice Addiction. The only place in Tulsa that physically carries CAV products. And so I made sure I bought a couple of CAVs while I was down there. And then I did a little bit of painting. Nothing special. Hung out, got to hang out with Colonel Kane, who, by the way, is the fellow that introduced me to CAV. He gave me my demo game at ReaperCon many moons ago. 2017, probably, I think, is when I first encountered CAV. I think that's it. All right. That's not too bad. The problem with not too bad is then you have to ask yourself, where do you go next? I mean, I need a balance. I need enough weight of this other color to make it seem interesting. But, I kind of hate to do I don't know. To me, sometimes it seems awkward, when you're painting like a Space Marine, right? Surely some of you out there painted a Space Marine before. And you just go around, you do the edge of the shoulder pad and the knees, and, it's all the usual places. And those models are designed for that. Possibly these are too, I'm not sure. But, I always like to, I don't know. It's sort of like painting by numbers, which is, I guess, good when you're painting up 120 things that are all the same. Maybe? I don't know. So I guess that's going to be purple now. Yeah, it is. It's Cthulhu. It's right next to it is on 11th Street, just west of, what do you think? Yale. On the south side of the street, about a block and a half. They have opened up 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Paint nights on Thursdays. Where to go next? I feel like I should just continue it into this piece of trim back here at the back. It's got the same style. It just extends around the back of the turret. Now, Ilmarin, if you're my buddy, if you're my friend, what you will do is you'll say, that white looks fantastic. Let's just leave it like that. And I can just paint one color and be done instead of have it come in and put in blue and then a mid-tone and then a highlight and then edge highlighting. Come on now, Ilmarin, save me. Tell me it's fantastic. Which, it's only okay. Trying to decide where to go with this. I think I'll keep it just on top. I'm not going to go all the way around. I'm going to call this angle the end of the edge of this color. It's this little bit of an angle right here. Just going to call that finito. And then of course I got to get the edge of this right here. Should really get a little wet brush out, another brush out, so that if I make a mistake I can quickly try and recover from it. Get some clean water here. Give me a second. Of course. Why would that not happen? All right. Got these little plastic shot glasses from, I don't know, the party store or something here in Tulsa, and they make good down and dirty, quick places to mix paint and store water and stuff like that. Very cheap. Yeah, I get it, Cow Boss. I get it. And I look forward to getting a chance to hang out with you on hobby and play games and stuff like that. But for now, we got to be good. I mean, it's the right thing to do. Lead by example. Be a good person. I have lots of, I don't know. Hopefully one of these days we'll get a chance to meet in person all the people in the chat here, and I can say, I could share my, the way I really feel. John won't let me say things the way I want to. He's so restrictive. He's just like, James, you got to be careful. No, not really. John is very outspoken. John will tell you how he feels much faster than I will. And then now maybe this little piece right here, because why not? Colonel Kane, speak of the devil and you will summon him. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. We literally were just talking about you. Your ears must have been burning. I mean, fiercely burning. Fiercely. I was telling him about us getting a chance to hang out on Thursday. I was. Colonel Kane was painting, amongst other things, he was painting on, I think, a cheetah. Is that the anti-aircraft CAV? Had it looking pretty good, an orange and kind of bluish color. I was impressed. I liked the way it looked. Did a good job. Cranking out the models. That's our Colonel Kane. He's just a ferociously fast painter. Aren't you, Colonel Kane? Just like me. All right. Alright, that doesn't look terrible. I don't want to. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to go overboard. I mean, these panels on the side have a similar structure, but man, I think if I painted 3 of those on each side, that it would just be kind of maybe a lot. I don't know. I feel like this piece back here has got a similar kind of structure to it, so I'm going to paint that. And then, I don't know. I'm still tempted to come in here and try and do something with these hexagonal panels, but they're so tiny, they're very hard to highlight. You guys are... I'm missing out. I need to stop painting and start just participating in the conversation. Good Lord. Luchadors, huh? All right. That's pretty out there. All right, let's try this. Let's go here. Like I said, it's just time to just slap some paint on and make it work. There's always green stuff somewhere around to strip it off with, right? We could just go back to gray. Make our own version of like the all gray squad. Get the front part of this panel down. Let's get this on camera. Try and bring these lights in a little closer. Maybe that'll help out some. Yeah, Colonel Kane, I think I'm going to basically make a purple where I'm putting this white. I'm just putting down the white so I can get the, the actual color of the purple without having to deal with all that yellow underneath it, which, the purple I'm going to make is going to be very blue. So I would just I'd have to fight a whole lot of green cast if I didn't put this white down first. At least I think that's the way that works. I said I was just going to do things, so I'm just going to do things. Cthulhu will just buy him his own paints. Come on now. School bus tanks. Yeah. School bus tanks. That's so funny. Just going to do it. Like the guy getting ready to rappel or bungee jump for the first time, standing up there at the edge of the precipice going, I'm not sure. You just need to shut up and jump. That's probably the best way to do this. You'll figure it out before you get to the bottom. Or when you get to the bottom. Oh, Lord. Go full NASA. I'm not... I took a class once from a guy who used to be a project manager at NASA. It was a project management class, strangely enough. And the stories he would tell about how, actual project management works were invaluable. Because, we would take all these classes about, how to, I'm sorry to bore you, but you're real quickly to, plan out your projects, do your Gantt charts, just critical junctures and milestones. It was just, all this really complicated ways of organizing stuff. And I'm like, I get it when you're doing something as vastly complex as, putting stuff into space, but how do you actually estimate the time? And of course he was just like, you fake it. You just make up a number and double it. Just like Scotty on the Enterprise. Bad. I don't know what that means. Mostly for the ability to answer your opponent when they ask, why did you paint your army like school buses? You can say, because you're about to be taken to school. Yeah, that would be great if I knew how to play the game. Or if I was capable of, like winning a game. I'm sure that works for people. Just not necessarily me. Not sure quite where to put this. So yeah, I don't know if you all noticed, but John posted up images for T-shirts for the upcoming virtual CAV-Con. I got to get mine ordered. And then he said there was a sale on previously existing T-shirts, including the really cool dropship T-shirt that he put out, I think back with the last Kickstarter. So if you get a chance, if you have the opportunity, you might want to take a look at the stock on those T-shirts. And of course, you want to get the one for the upcoming convention. I hear that those T-shirts come with a +1 to hit. No, Cav Boss. The paint. This is Stynylrez. I'm painting with Stynylrez primer right now. I did use some oil white earlier in the weekend when I did these canopies. I don't know how long you've been around the stream, but so I did these canopies over the weekend with black and white oil paints to get the blends out, because I'm not talented like Mr. Ross and Mr. Farnholtz, but so I have to use cheat codes when I can. But yeah, this is just regular acrylic paint. It's acrylic primer. Oh, I forgot to tell you. This week I finally broke down. All right, so real quick, I've had airbrushes for probably about the last 3 years, and for a long time, I've been painting for a long time, off and on, and I always thought, man, maybe I want an airbrush. But they're expensive, and you got to buy all that extra stuff, and I'm like, it could be a waste of time, it could be a waste of money. I finally broke down and got it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a tool that I would advise everybody get, even if it's only just for primering, because it is so useful. So incredibly useful. So down that exact same path, I finally got one of those Vortex paint shakers. Oh my gosh. That thing is a lifesaver and a shoulder saver and a wrist saver. I love it. I can shake up paint so thoroughly now. It's great. This old Stynylrez was pretty chunky inside. I mean, I've had it for a long time, and it was getting to the point where I was like, man, I might have to buy some more just because this stuff is too thick. But so I put some old miniature tabs, some old pewter tabs I cut up in the bottom of it for paint shakers, and I stuck it on that the Vortex mixer, and oh my gosh, I was super happy. Rejuvenated my white Stynylrez, and now I don't have to rush out and buy some more. All right. Now, I'm looking at the balance of the other colors on this model. From the side, really, you kind of look at models like this, right? So maybe from this angle, maybe, and then from this angle, I feel like it's not enough. There's a whole lot of white over here on the sides. Or, excuse me, yellow. I feel like I need something here, but I don't know. I'm hesitant to just paint all 6 of these pieces white. That just seems like too much. Yeah, the Good Huntsman. I don't own a welder. I don't know how to weld. I'm thinking about buying a nail gun for some projects this summer. And I love your analogy, because you're right. The airbrush, I'm like, how the heck did I ever do this? All right, Ilmarin, I'm going with what you say. I'm done. All right, I'm putting this guy down. There, Ilmarin, excuse me. It's like the teacher saying I could have the day off. There, I'm done. I'm moving on. Nope, Ilmarin said it was done. That's it. I'm copping out. Actually, I'm going to think about it. I might come back and paint one or two of them. Maybe. I'm not sure. For now, I know these are going to be white, so I can productively paint on these guys while I kind of stew about how much of that other stuff I want to paint white. Yep, Colonel Kane, you know it. I will cheat in a heartbeat, at least at hobby stuff. Good grief. Ilmarin said I was done. That means I'm done. So let it be written. So let it be done. Is that a Yul Brynner line from The King and I? Something like that? I was listening to musicals earlier this week while I was programming at work, and stumbled into a bunch of The King and I and just all kinds of silly stuff. Ilmarin, you are the man. You're the leader. Come on now. You're my paint guru. Because you told me I was okay to move on. Do. Trying to pick up a little bit of white paint there. Okay, so we're following the Babylonian style now. Old school. I like it. What else is going on? I heard that Reaper, and I haven't checked this out myself, so this is clearly hearsay, but I heard that Reaper is tentatively going for a physical convention in September right now. Their plan is for that we're all going to get together in Texas in September, for physical ReaperCon. Saw somebody post that earlier today. Which I hope that's a good statement. I hope that's a true statement. I hope it can be done safely and, well, safely, I guess, is the most thing. ReaperCon is fun by default. So I talked to my wife briefly about it. We're not 100% sure how we feel about going to a physical convention, but, September's a long way away. Lots of things can happen between now and September. Yeah, Gimli, that would be sweet. It's a lot of fun. I mean, I don't know everything you're into, but they have a little bit of all of it. They have new models and paint and, like classes at the classes is like, to me, the main thing that they do. There's a nice chunk of gaming. It's not a gaming convention, but there's a nice chunk of gaming. Camaraderie. The hotel there is top notch. I mean, I'm not a rich person. I've not often stayed in very fancy hotels, but I enjoyed it. They were friendly. The package deal that I got with my room back in 2019 came with a lot of perks that I was really happy with. I mean, just all in all, it was good. There's lots of food right around there. I mean, it's a good place to hold a convention. Plus, I got to hang out with a bunch of CAV people, which is unfortunately a little rarer than I wish it was. Little rarer than I wish it was. Class is painting a lot of stuff. Miniatures Den. I guess I'm not familiar with that painting person or channel or whatever that is, Mr. Gimli. I'm very curious. I'm going to try and look this name up when I get done. I love finding new painters because the one part of the hobby that I'm super good at is watching other people hobby. It's my strength. I'm also very good at gaming that way. I'm super good at watching other people play games. Back when I was involved with War Machine and Hordes, that was the joke. There was another game called, instead of War Machine, it was called Watch Machine, where basically people would sit around and watch other people play the game, and I was pretty much the national champion at that. Pretty much the national champion. Interesting. Yeah, definitely. I would love to. I don't know if the channel allows links. I guess you could try. I don't honestly know. I feel like you're a pretty trustworthy fellow there, Mr. Gimli. You probably wouldn't post anything that we wouldn't, it would be suspect. Yeah, you can do that. That would be perfect. Did I just wipe paint on the screen? No? Okay. Yeah, send me a DM. That would be perfect. I noticed on Discord over the weekend there were some questions that came up about, just ECM and EST and stuff like that. I think the people that answered them there, Tiger and I can't remember everybody else, but Dave Curry, Dave C., they all did a good job answering those questions. I personally got a little clarification. It turns out when you run out of ammo, it doesn't cover every. No, let me back up. Let's say I have yeah, that's literally Gimli, literally. So let's say you have a model with heavy guided missiles and light guided missiles for whatever reason. I'm sure that's there must be some cav or tank out there with that. And you're firing the heavy guided missiles and you critical miss and you roll the dice to check if you're out of ammo and you run out of ammo and you don't have ammo bin to save you. So those heavy guided missiles are now officially out of ammo. I wasn't 100% certain if that meant that the light guided missiles were also out of ammo. John clarified that for us yesterday. They are not. So the different classes of weapons don't run out of. They don't share the same ammo apparently. At least not for guided missiles. I mean, I suppose technically we should ask the same questions about things like MRACs and stuff like that just to make sure, because I mean, it feels like they should get the same answer, but you know, it's probably worth it just to clarify. All right. Let that sit still while it dries. Paint the camera. That would be a good tactic. Sorry. I get to doing the fiddly bits, which this is all fiddly bits tonight. I want to be quiet and concentrate and stick my tongue out the side of my mouth like a kindergartner, trying to make sure he colors inside the lines. Which, when you get right down to it, is exactly what I'm doing right now. Except I can't stick my tongue out the side of the mouth because I'm supposed to talk. Yeah, I'm sure if I were to read it really carefully, it probably does make sense, but I don't know. It's easy to, it's so easy to make minor interpretations with the way things are written. So it's just best to get the clarification from John. He's a very responsive game developer. He's open to answering questions, not any time of the day or night. I haven't ever texted him at 3 o'clock in the morning and say, John, am I out of ammo? What happens here? Probably because he would probably murder me. But, he might not. It's kind of a long drive. Nothing Colonel Kane says is official. Colonel Kane, you're not getting out of this that easy. You started me down this path. I'm pointing all the fingers back at you. Okay. Feel free to test it, Colonel Kane. Go for it. Ask him about those Anubis guards. You'll get an answer. Guarantee you'll get some kind of answer. So I don't know, these hexes are so teeny tiny. I'm not sure I'm going to even try and paint them individually. I may just, after this white dries, I may just make a purple wash and come in here and wash it over it gently so it doesn't get on the yellow too much and see if that won't achieve my goals. Good grief. These are like, I don't know, the size of the end of a pen, like an ink pen. I shouldn't worry about getting a transition across each one of these hexes. That just sounds like OCD or just dumbness taking charge of me and going, let us worry about something that doesn't matter. Crisp $20. Make sure ammo never runs out. Cthulhu, is that all it takes? $20. Cthulhu. Cthulhu, Cthulhu, Cthulhu. So basically what you're saying is the icon for the get out of the ammo bin SA is really just $20. It's just a picture of a $20 bill. Or whatever the currency is where you might happen to be. Sparks might be in the channel, you never know. I don't know what kind of, honestly, I don't know much about the Australian economy, so I can't tell you what their currency is. Except that I'm sure it sounds much cooler than American currency, that's for sure. Colonel Kane, you haven't played in 2 years. They're starting to make it sound like the last time you played was when you taught me how to play the game, which is, kind of telling. I didn't think I was that bad a pupil. All right. Moving on up. Monopoly money. I was trying to think of some clever, like upside down $20 bill thing, but clever, I think, is where I got stuck. Clever is where I got stuck. And of course, Sparks isn't in here to defend himself. I'm sure he'd be cutting us all up one side and down the other. That guy's pretty sharp. At least me. He'd certainly be getting the best of me. All right, more white. Just out of curiosity, from the people that are in the channel, how many of you are interested in that Badger, the drop ship? And I bring that up because I want to ask questions about your ideas for how to paint it. But I guess, my first question is, how many of you are interested in getting it as a hobby project? I'll certainly end up with one. So, for those of you that are interested in that, have you done a big MDF model like that before? I've never actually painted a big MDF model, and so I'm kind of curious to pick your brains if any of you have any experience with some of that terrain or whatever other source of large MDF paint jobs you might have done. What do I need to know? What are the tricks? What are your plans? What kind of paint scheme are you going to use? How are you going to go about doing it? Gimli, you can't find room for a 3-foot long terrain piece? Come on now. Put in your sock drawer. Come on, Colonel Kane. I guess you could get Ludo to do it for you. Maybe Ludo would paint it for you. I anticipate it's probably going to drink up paint. So obviously I'm going to Google this because I'm sure there are people out there that have, hobby channels, episodes, time, whatever you want to call it, dedicated to, hey, here's how you deal with MDF. Or even, some of the companies that do MDF. I know they're Terrain for Year, Terrain for Games, something like that. There's a couple of companies that sell MDF stuff. There's bound to be at least one of them that does some how-to videos. Ludo, busy. Did you see him last Thursday sitting around painting models? Well, I mean, Ilmarin, I think you're right, but I mean, that MDF is going to drink Stynylrez like, thirsty man drinks water, right? So I just feel like there's probably a technique that'll seal it. It'll keep it from just, making it so that the next day after I primer it, I come in and instead of it being white, it's brown with a white tint, like I glazed it with very thin white primer. And I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I've literally never painted MDF before, so I feel like there's a trick, there's a technique, there's a strategy to it that's probably worth figuring out before I, just start hammering it with my airbrush. And on top of that, I guess I'm kind of curious, those of you that intend to get one and paint it, what are you thinking? I mean, are you gonna? Yeah. So Imran, I think it's a great candidate for a rattle can. I just maybe sealing it first with some sort of like a polyurethane or something. Yeah, something like that. I mean, I don't know if that's the solution, Ilmarin, but that it feels like there's a solution out there. So some of the veteran hobbyists have that I definitely should. I'm definitely going to watch some videos. Somebody out there has got some good advice for me, and I want to take it before I go too far down this path. But aside from the technique, how do you intend to paint yours? I mean, what are you going for? Are you gonna paint it in like a unit's colors? Are you going to keep it simple? Are you gonna throw stencils and stickers or decals on it? What is your plan? Do you have a plan? If you don't, then just tell me what you think you might do, because I'm real curious to see what people's thought processes are. I mean, is the CAV with paint, Gimli, you're a bad person. Yes, red with a big white stripe and green windows. Is that a rock kind of thing, Cthulhu? Are you going for a rock model? Yeah, I'm curious to see now. I mean, so technically the Badger is a rock design, but it's an open design, I think, is what John said. So remember, you're not confined to painting this thing in for rock. I mean, certainly feel free to use it for the rock. That's who actually I think designed this particular dropship belongs to originally, but either the design has been copied or sold or stolen or something, so that it's prolific, I think, in other forces as well, if I understood it correctly. From my perspective, it's a Kimmel, you're not annoying. It's fun. It's good. I mean, without people that want to chat and talk, I mean, just even an hour is hard for me to fill up with information. I'm not the gabbiest person in the world. This is kind of a new experience for me. So, the Good Huntsman. Buy, assemble, disassemble, because he was put together wrong. Reassemble, stare it out until I figure out what color it's supposed to be. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with those launchers. I certainly want to get something for those missile tips, even though John said those aren't. He's going to make the STLs available, so I have to get somebody to print me some of those. I feel like I might do some kit bashing there. I might try and put a different weapon system in it. I like it. Cthulhu. With a plan. I like it. So it's a really big model, which is, kind of uncommon for me to paint. I mean, I don't often paint large models, and so I feel like it's an opportunity for me to try and really leverage the airbrush in ways I don't normally do, right? There's all kinds of stencils and techniques that are just hard to pull off on 10 millimeter models, which I don't have a ton of experience with. But I mean, I could get like a dragon stencil, right? And put a dragon on the side of it, or just anything. I mean, the world is your oyster when you finally have, like something bigger than bigger than this tank to be able to airbrush. I mean, it's challenging to do anything more than just shades and tones with an airbrush on a small model like this. Yeah, Colonel Kane, I think you're 100%. I think you're 100% right. The Badger is definitely a rock model, but John, being the wise person that he is, doesn't want to limit the sales of that model to people that are doing rock armies. So I think he's made it some sort of like an open design where it is deployed and used in other forces, if I remember correctly. Because the chances, I think, of him ever doing every faction's dropship are probably small. He has mentioned that because the Almiralthal one has never been designed, they could just start out with the idea that, hey, I'm going to make this out of MDF and then design it so that it's easy for him to build on his gigantic multi-trillion-dollar MDF laser cutter he's got. Yeah. So yeah, Ilmarin, I mean, I something along those lines, I think, except, like I said, now that I've got so much room to work, maybe I could just make a stencil, and then I don't have to do as much freehanding. It's kind of funny, those dragon heads I put on those airplanes, they were a little bit like this White Tonight. I was sitting at my desk trying to get ready for the War Master tournament in 2019, and I was like, all right, I mean, I've got this red looks decent, the gray looks decent, the green cockpits look decent, but I need something more. And so I just picked up some white paint and said, let's do a dragon. I looked on the internet for a tattoo, like a dragon tattoo, to kind of base it on, and I looked at the picture and I started painting, and they came out all right. And then 511 is a thing for my wife, would be her birthday. And so I named the unit the 511 to make her, let her know that I love her. And to try and convince her to play, which she has a little bit. She's a miniature gamer. She's more of a fantasy gamer. We play Frostgrave. Cthulhu, is this something recent? I mean, I remember you working on them a while back. Have you done something new? Is there something I need to run out and get and take a look at? So it's getting pretty close to 9 o'clock. I'm going to finish up the hexes on this model, and then I will probably call it a night. I have so much painting to do. I haven't run this by John yet. In fact, I haven't even said these words to John, so he may tell me go to heck. I don't know. I think I may, if one of the main streams isn't going, I may just jump on like at random times over the course of the next week or two as I try and get caught up on this painting. So if you're interested in just random freeform Monday painting things, make sure you have your notifications turned on, because I'm standing at this exact same place when I paint by myself as the camera and the microphone, so I might just throw the thing on and hang out while I paint white over yellow for the next 6 weeks. Yeah, okay, yeah. Cthulhu, I saw those guys. Those guys are fantastic. I'm excited to see what you do with how your badger comes out. I'm very excited for that. You gonna find some rattle can that does that red? What are you gonna do? What's the plan to cover all that giant surface? Yeah, Ilmarin. I've been kind of curious to see who's got the most channel points. How many channel points you got, Ilmarin? You feel like sharing? You gonna tell me what you got? Because I see you on Saturdays occasionally. I know you're sneaking in and getting all the extra points. 23K. Well, that's a good number. That's a good number. I have a few more than that. I get credit because I always have the Twitch stream open while I'm streaming, so I can monitor it and check out it. I kind of mod it while John is talking on Wednesdays. I get a lot of points. The only stream I miss, and I don't intend to, it's just Saturday. Like, I have to have time to run errands, is Chris's stream. And that's the one I kind of like the most because I don't know anything about digital sculpting. And so it's fascinating to me to watch him do that and to ask him questions and stuff like that. And it sucks that I rarely get to actually show up for his show. 42, Colonel Kane. 42 total? Wait a minute, not 42,000, just 42. 24.5. Hold on, let me look and see what I got real quick. See if I can figure this out. Can I do this without knocking the stream off the air? I have 40K. Sorry, I had a brush in my mouth. It's on your Twitch stream down near the bottom where the chat thing is over to the left. There's something called Galtex, has a kind of an unusual looking G symbol. That's your channel points. You can, I don't know if John's set it up to use them for anything yet, but it's coming. I feel like you should, there's going to be a use for those things at some point. Going to be a use for those things at some point. I have painting this white on this yellow reminds me of a Monster Apocalypse model I have painted downstairs that has yellow with some extreme edge highlights in white. Next time I stream, I'll try and remember to bring it upstairs so I can show you guys what that looks like. It's very similar. The school bus giant kaiju monster. Yeah, Colonel Kane, if you promise to paint it, we will find a way to get you a dropship, buddy. You paint it, I'll bring it. How about that? What if I hire you to paint mine? How about that? Come on now, Colonel Kane. Don't tease me like that. Come on. So yeah, keep your turn your notifications on because there are definitely going to be some. I've got a 2,000 channel points for all the upcoming dual cast models. Seems fair to you? Yeah, absolutely. Totally. I mean, 2,000 points. Come on now. Yeah, sometime this weekend I will definitely jump on the Twitch stream and like I said, I'm not doing anything anyway, so I might as well, or other than painting, I might as well stream. So if you guys have time and you see that I popped on, come by and say hello. Gonna watch me. Oh, I'm done being indecisive. I'm just gonna slap some paint on these guys. They got to get done at some point. I still have the CAV ball teams to paint, but they're gonna be speed painted with the airbrush for the most part. That's not terrible. I don't dislike the way that white looks. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't know where we're going to go. We might end up with white and yellow. Who knows? But it's 9:05, so I'm going to bring this fair stream to a conclusion for tonight. I don't think I'm going to paint anymore tonight because I have dinner to eat and some chores to do around the house and things like that. But yeah, I really appreciate everybody stopping by and hanging out. Colonel Kane, it was nice to see you. Hopefully we'll see you sometime soon. Yeah, I know. If it was... Yeah. Just a quick rundown. Not that you all don't already know this, but, heaven forbid I should miss an opportunity to promote the other streams that are coming up. Terrain Tuesday tomorrow night with John. I'm sure he must have some information that you can pry out of him about CAV-Con. And when you pry it out of him, if I'm not in the channel, send it to me because I need to know too. Wednesday, me and John talking about presumably CAV-Con. At this point in time, he's got to have massive information available for us. So look out for that. And then Saturday, Chris Lewis digitally sculpting. Definitely worth checking out. And with a little luck, sometime I will pop one this weekend just because I got to paint anyway. Then last but not least, I always like to leave everybody with the encouragement to be good to the people around you, to make the world a little better by being a little bit better yourself every day. Just get better every day. Well, that's all right, Colonel Kane. Come and hang out with us over the weekend. Or if nothing else, just drive down for Thursday night paint day. No problem, right? All right, all. Thanks. I really appreciate all the conversation. I appreciate all of your feedback and help, and I really appreciate all of you just being my buddies and hanging out with me. Have a good night. Take care. Bye.